Hey, this is Dan from Between the Bear to Me, and you're listening to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience with Chris.
Welcome back to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is your host, Chris, and I'm here with Dan, the bassist of Between the Bear to Me. What's up, man? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing all right.
Thank you for making the time for me today. I know Summer Slaughter can be very hectic. You guys have, I think 10 bands on this tour, right?
It is, but I mean, for us, we sound check at 11:30 in the morning, and then probably don't warm up until about 8:30 at night. So there's a lot of time to kill. And today we're in this big parking lot, so that's about it.
Have you ever been to a show over here where it's outside? Because
No.
I know they used to do Sound on the Ground tour outside here.
You definitely wouldn't bother anyone. I mean,
yeah.
It doesn't seem like there's anything around. So
yeah, this road just keeps going. I remember the first time coming here, I was really lost. I thought I made the wrong turn and whatnot.
Right.
But I always thought of Summer Slaughter being I think that would be a great outdoor kind of thing if they just put up 2 tents, because there's so many bands, and then everyone will get more time and all that.
It's true.
Because, War Tour is over now. I went to that on Saturday, and it's kind of sad. It's end of an era,
Yeah, I think, the traveling festival thing in general, I think is it's a model that didn't, Warped Tour has gone on for a long time, but it started in a time where the traveling festival was all the rage, That was when, even Lollapalooza was a traveling festival.
Oh, it was? I didn't know that.
And now, that's just a one-off.
Yeah.
I think that's more the model of the European festival, something like Bonnaroo, or the Rock on the Range that happens in Columbus, Ohio. Or it's just kind of like a one-off gig, and they pull from all sorts of different, all kinds of different spectrums of music, which is kind of interesting, and that's how a lot of those European festivals act as well.
I feel like they work out better that way. I went to Heavy Montreal, and I feel it was very organized, a lot more time for bands,
right.
And I feel like bands kind of like it either. Do you agree with that? Being
we're playing there in a couple next week, I guess. We're doing the Heavy Montreal, so yeah.
Time flies.
we did it. 6 years ago, and it was cool.
I
remember.
I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. You guys didn't play Heavy Montreal. You guys played the night before in club.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Was it Catacombs or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. You guys played Bohemian Rhapsody at the end.
Oh yeah.
All right. So anyway, like I was saying, with tours like that, do you think Summer Slaughter would be another tour that can take be a Mayhem Fest, Ozfest, something like that?
I'm not sure.
You don't think so?
You need big time headliners for that.
Yeah.
You need someone big.
Yeah. I think the biggest band they had was Meshuggah, I think, on Summer Slaughter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Meshuggah, you guys, Black Dahlia Murders from recent memory and all that.
Right. You probably need I don't even know what a big metal band is. Rammstein or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Those. Imagine them here. That wouldn't go. All right. So you guys just came out with a brand new album, Automata, on... you came out with the first Automata 1 on March 9th, and now you just came out with the second part on July 13th. And this is through Metal Blade Records, right? I mean, Sumerian Records, right?
Yeah, Sumerian, yeah.
Yeah, so you guys moved away from Metal Blade, and that threw me for a surprise, because Metal Blade is so, popular.
Oh, we didn't move away. Our contract was for 2 albums and
so that's
an EP, so we did that, and, it's a lot like an athlete's contract. Guys signed up for 3 years or whatever, and then after that, he's a free agent, so we just kind of floated to... whoever had the best offer, after that, and we'll see what's after that,
Okay, and is this for a 2-album cycle as well, or?
I'm not technically, sure, it's something like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And they've been pretty well. I mean, they got you on this tour. This is kind of like a Sumerian tour right now.
Yeah, I guess it kind of is, yeah.
Okay,
but, yeah.
So with Automata 2, because it's kind of it's 2 separate albums, but it's kind of like one, wouldn't you say?
It's one album. Yeah, we wrote it. We wrote and recorded it and planned to release it as one thing. And then it got split. So yeah, that's I think there was it left the two sides kind of having, in some ways, their own feel. I think it's funny because I think people were missing some of the stuff that's on the back half of the record from the first one, and so as one piece, I think they complement each other.
So you think that like making it 2 albums was like making it stronger in a sense for the listener or for like the concept?
No, I just think it was just something different. You got some earlier in the year, and then you get some now, and probably now people are probably just listening to it as one thing, like how we wrote it. So
yeah, I know. Like, my one friend was putting it on shuffle.
Yeah,
that's how he was like listening to it. I mean, he does that with a lot of albums, which I was kind of arguing with him that you don't listen. Like, I feel like between the bear to me, like you guys don't.
Well, yeah. There's
really shuffle.
The flow from song to song, of course. Yeah. And you're telling a story, so if you're following the lyrics, that could get weird.
So coming from you guys being like, so like you guys have concepts, you have like, so like your albums are very, in depth and all that. There's like the new streaming age with Spotify, like Apple Music and all that stuff. Has that, how's that been affecting your band?
Not really, I guess. I mean, we don't write for the music for those platforms.
But it hasn't been affecting it like otherwise, like, you're doing your thing. Has it been helping you?
Yeah, no, but spread? I think, it's just, to me, it's something like Spotify or whatever. It's just like an evolved version of, the radio or something. I don't see that as a reason why, a diehard fan wouldn't buy a record or something. For me, a lot of times, I'm kind of newer to Spotify. I got it at the beginning of the year, and, I listen to a record, or if I'm getting into an artist who's got a back catalog, I'll go through it, sift through some records, see what I want to get, or add to my list for when I'm out and about and at the store, and or like a lot of times when I'm browsing at a store and I see a record I'm unfamiliar with, I'll pull it up and browse right on Spotify or whatever, and that's totally nice. So I think it's, much like, like I remember the first time we went to Singapore years ago, we showed up, or I guess the only time we showed up and, the room was packed, and there, we did a meet and greet, and there's all these people, and we're just like, how is this possible? And it was, at that point, it was probably, the MySpace age, and you were just like, I guess the word's just spreading, and I think Spotify is just another version of that. So
it's like helping you more like with exposure. And
I guess so,
access,
yeah.
right?
And there is money that comes through from it, but it gets filtered.
Oh, I heard like this
elsewhere, we'll say.
Yeah, you guys really don't see it. Really, they don't give you. Yeah. That's a lot of bands have been talking about that, but they do think that it's helped get. Like I won't name the band, but they said that Spotify has helped them get fans to their shows.
That's possible, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just really curious about that because, they say the music industry has to, like, evolve and all that.
Right.
And, like, so you guys really don't think about that? Like, you're more on the creative side of writing music, right?
Yeah. And, we do the big record, and, we've got a huge emphasis on the aesthetic of our albums, and, we've got great relationship with our bud Corey Myers, who does all our artwork and art direction and stuff, and there's a big special sort of like that is just like the ritual of taking out a record and sifting through it, as you're listening to it for the first time and digging through the credits. Like I do that with every record I get. Yeah. So yeah, that's not gone away.
You guys are you were just talking about the artwork, and I noticed downstairs at your merch table, you guys have that awesome, cloth fabric. That big cover.
I think it's like a flag, yeah.
Yeah, like a flag, yeah, of the album, like
something.
Yeah, it looks really awesome. And
cool.
If I had the space for that, I'd put it in my room.
Oh, that's awesome.
My room is very small. All right, so usually you guys, well, not usually. I mean, you guys played albums in their entirety. Mm-hmm. You guys played Parallax. You guys played Coma Ecliptic. Right. Colors, obviously. Uh-huh. Do you see yourself doing that with Automata?
Possibly, yeah.
You guys aren't doing it tonight, right?
No. Yeah, tonight we're playing. I think we're playing one track off both pieces of the Automata record, And
House organ?
What's that?
House organ?
No. No, we haven't played that one yet.
Really?
That's a fun song. But
That's it's very
yet.
catchy. And Millions, those two.
Yeah, this is our last tour in America for the year, and so not quite sure what's going on next year, but yeah, we'll have some fun shit in the works.
Because you played with Leprous, right, before this?
Yeah, Leprous and the Deer Hunter. Yeah, we did a great tour together. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I missed that, unfortunately. But that
was fun. Oh yeah, we've wanted to. We toured with Leprous in Europe before. It was phenomenal, and then we've been trying to tour with Deer Hunter for like 8 or 9 years, like a long time, and finally just made connection with them and conversations, and I think we kind of broke them down and got them to want to do the tour. But yeah, then we took it a step further. We did a little single together where we did one of each other's songs, reinterpreted it, and that was a lot of fun, and I think helped bridge any sort of gap for the fans. You know, I think it was good.
The great misdirect is when I started like showing my friends, like, you know, when you show your friends music and whatnot, and I was like showing obfuscation. I always get that wrong. Sorry. Anyway, I was showing my friend that, and he was like, "Oh, if you like them, you'll probably like Deer Hunter." And I was like, "Who is this?" He's more on the progressive rock side.
Yeah.
So then when you guys actually came around with them, I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
It's like really cool how that works out.
Oh, totally. Yeah, they're great.
So I just have a question about like touring and how you guys get around and all that, because Bill from Mastodon, he was talking about how basically bands have to stay active with side projects and like side jobs and whatnot to keep their band going. And I was wondering, like, is touring like very essential to your band? Like, I know touring is very important, but like, do you guys need it like with the merch or like getting RVs and all that? Like,
oh yeah, I mean that's how we make our living is going and playing concerts. There's like almost absolutely no other source of income, so it's just going and doing the work and playing the shows, and that hasn't really changed since me and Blake and Dusty joined the band, and since Tommy and Paul started the band, 17 years ago or whatever. So that's what we do, and thankfully, as time has gone on, we've been able to tour a little bit less, have more space, have more time for just things at home, other things that we're into, or I've got a few groups on the side, and I just like to always be in a creative space, and it helps, of course it helps stepping away from the group, and then every couple of years we get back together, and you kind of find what tricks people have learned along the way, and what I guess just kind of what place they're at that point in time. I think we're always bringing stuff to the table every time we sit down to write that's different, and part of that is having the space in between jaunts of being on tour to really grow.
Oh, it just kind of like threw me for a loop, because you think like a band like Mastodon, like you guys, like like big names, that you guys can just tour and be fine. Whereas like he was saying, like you got to have like side, like like Periphery, Matt Halpern teaches drums on the side to help keep his band going, because he just can't keep a living off that. And that just like Periphery is so big, like you always see their names everywhere. I don't think they really
toured though. I mean, they haven't really toured in.
Who, Periphery?
I don't think they've toured in a good while. So I
think it was like a year ago or something like that. Yeah, I saw them.
Yeah, we've never taken a year off, so.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I just saw you guys for Colors back
in
September for that. Okay, so during my interviews, I asked 3 random silly questions. You ready to take part in that?
Yeah.
Cool.
We should mention right now that on mute is Beverly Hills 90210, the OG series. It's been on. We've had it on all day.
Marathon.
So that's just that people should know that that's on in the background.
Awesome. All right, so random silly question set. Here we go. Question number 1: is ice cream cake an actual cake, or is it just ice cream in the shape of a cake?
I think it's an actual cake.
Yes.
Blake actually had one at his birthday the other day that his wife's family owns Cold Stone Creamery, which I don't know if made it all the way up here. I'm not sure.
Wait, she owns Cold Stone?
Yeah, owns. I don't know if they own Cold Stone
or
if
they own like a store.
Own a store. To be honest, I'm not sure.
I know Cold Stone. That's like a big
Exactly.
Yeah, ice cream place.
But they had a nice little ice cream cake for them. So.
Okay, because like we the argument started when it was my friend's birthday, and we are like, oh, let's go get him a cake. So to me, I was like, I'll go get him a Carvel cake. Do you know Carvel? All right, I didn't know this was like a
regional. Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. Just it was a Carvel. Anyway, it's just an ice cream cake, you know.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, get that. He's like, no, dude, you gotta get him an actual cake. I'm like, that is a cake. It's just ice cream. But he said no because it doesn't have batter and all that. So
yeah,
it's a little friendly
I'd
argument.
Say it's still, yeah.
And then I asked D. Snyder, and D. Snyder says no, it's just a corporate scheme. All right, question number 2: who is your celebrity man crush?
Man crush?
Yeah. We all have one.
Yeah, I don't know that I've. I mean, there's people that I'm definitely like very inspired by. I wouldn't say I'm like, attracted to them or whatever. But like, I just saw David Byrne perform a couple months ago, and it was pretty incredible to see someone in the flesh who has had such a long and varied career in music in so many different facets, and he's just an overwhelmingly creative person, and that was phenomenal to see. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, that's a solid pick.
Yeah, I'll stop
there. Question number 3: what's an embarrassing moment in your life that you would love to make disappear? Or that you're willing to share?
Yeah.
I guess if it's really embarrassing, you don't want to share it.
No, I don't know. I mean, there's... Of course, as a musician, you always think, when you mess something up live, that it's the worst thing on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And then half the time, you're the only one who really caught it, or it's not really a big deal, depending on how you cover up. And so I would probably say a moment like that, even though it probably didn't even matter, which is funny. But yeah, part of I think being on stage all the time is being able to sell a screw up.
Yeah. Well, you guys always look very zoned into what you're doing. The way you move,
guys
you look.
It's just say like 3 weeks from now. I mean, we'll just be on complete autopilot, and your brain's just can be in other places. Yeah. And all of a sudden, your hands aren't quite doing what they should be doing, or you do stop and think about what you're doing, and then all of a sudden, you actually screw yourself up.
Do you ever get distracted by the crowd? I always thought about that.
No,
Or can you not see them?
I almost always play across the stage. This tour is a little different. Like I'm up on a riser, like with Blake. Like we're on this wide riser together in the back. And so I play a little bit more towards the crowd, but generally I like playing to the musicians on the stage, and kind of just getting lost in that. And I think what's nice about that is, we'd have nights where, the crowd would kind of like dictate if you had a good show or not. And I didn't really like that. I kind of want, a good performance for me to be based on how I play, how we play. Whatever.
Course, yeah.
So I felt like when I'm looking across the stage at just the guys, and then I really feel like I'm in my own zone, and it's just a matter of just performing fine.
So
that's what I like more.
Does it make it harder when you're doing like the live albums?
Do
you think about that at all, or no?
Yeah, yeah.
To me, I would be more nervous.
Those are always we'll just say. It's weird when there's a camera involved.
Yeah.
When a camera's involved.
Can you zone it out at all? Or no?
Yeah, but the situation's always weird. Like there's extra lights. It's like even when we did Parallax 2 in a studio, it was very laid back. It was very chill. But there were probably about 4 different camera operators, and there were a ton of lights. And it was weird, but I would say that was probably the most relaxed we probably were recording a live thing, but it was even still a little weird.
So would you keep doing it, or are you not a fan of them?
Yeah.
You keep doing them?
Totally, yeah.
Okay. All right, so that was the Random Silly Questions segment. Thank you for partaking in that. Yeah. And all right, so what do you guys have planned after Summer Slaughter? You guys said you're going to Europe, right?
We go to Europe. in like November and December. Yeah, so I'll just be watching baseball playoffs, and relaxing, enjoying the last bits of summer and fall, and that'll be nice.
Are you guys touring again back here, or are you gonna take a little time
Sometime
off?
next year, yeah.
East Coast or West Coast? You don't know yet?
Probably everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere again? Okay,
Probably,
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time out to do this. And good luck on your show tonight.
Thank you.
Researcher